Hi, and welcome to the Bookkeepers Podcast. I'm Zoe Whitman. I'm here with Joe Wood. Hey, Joe, how are you?
Hey, I am good. I am good. How are you doing?
I'm really good. I feel really busy because
Mhm.
Hey Monika has been like a new full-time job for me right now, and I know for the other founders it has. How about you?
Yeah, super busy, super excited. Like when you think I feel stressed, but it's not a bad stress. It's there's just so many ideas. I'm at that point in time where I was driving this morning and I had to turn the radio off because I had an idea and I wanted to remember it. So I'm like, how do I lock this idea in? And it's like they're coming thick and fast. So it's like it's just a lot, but it doesn't mean it's bad. Like when I weigh it up, it's like this is good stress. This is exciting. This is entrepreneurial stress.
Nice. I was thinking the other day about when I fleetingly went to university for a while. One of my tutors used to speak really, really fast, and I just could not write and listen and keep up and learn the thing. And what I ended up doing was buying a dictaphone, the ones that you had in like the 2000s, and you put a tape in and you press the button and you could record it. Sometimes I think I need one of those in the car because you can't be in the car on your listening to something on your phone or an audiobook or whatever,
No.
and then voice record yourself because you can't press all the buttons. But if you had a little dictaphone, you could just be like, click, talk.
Yeah.
Bring
And
back the old school
this,
dictaphone.
well, you say old school. So my daughter started an apprenticeship and she had to take notes in a meeting the other day and they got her to use a pedal on the floor to start and stop the recording of the tape.
What?
I didn't even know this existed but it's old technology. And she had to learn how to do this. And she was like, Mum, I don't think they've heard of AI.
No, just like send vinyl in or something to
Yeah.
record the thing, or Otter or something. How funny. Well, there we go. Let's just bring it back. I think dictaphones for the car are the future.
Yeah. Love that
Like
idea.
your pedal for your like transcription.
Might get a bit dangerous.
Right, so we're here to talk about work experience, and we want to talk about Hey Monika as well. If you haven't heard the juicy gossip, we launched some software in March, just literally like less than a month ago. It went live. I feel like it's my third baby, and all consuming completely. I haven't slept since. Is basically but like it's a work experience solution powered by AI. We want to tell you about it because we've got 80 people using it now, and we're getting loads of really good feedback. We're really involving the users in the journey, helping us shape what this looks like, what features they want, what kind of scenarios they want. So listen on if you're thinking about how to get work experience. But I want to just talk a little bit about like the problem with work experience, because we've been building the community, the Figure Bookkeepers Club, for 5 years, and or more than that, in fact. You started it before we even met, and we've got nearly 27,000 members in that free community now. And one of the biggest questions we see, in fact, I was looking this morning and I was just going back through, and there were 3 or 4 people in there just asking for work experience just in the last few days. Like, how do I get experience of this thing? Or I've taken an exam, but I've never actually done this thing in real life. And I was like, this problem will not go away.
And it's not necessarily like a qualification problem or like level. So I used to think that this was something that you needed right at the beginning of your journey, but actually, because what we do in this space that we're in, there's so many areas of expertise that you might have a job and be really expert. Maybe you're in like accounts payable and that side. If you're in industry, you might work in one department, but you might have never touched, I don't know, like accounts receivable or credit control or corporation tax or CIS, or there is so many things. So this is not about, like, you might have experience in other areas, or you may be brand new and be qualified but not have experience. And it's that age-old problem. How do you get work experience if someone's not going to give you a job because you don't have work experience?
Yeah. Well, even one of our users, Helen Jones, she very kindly like shared some feedback, and she said she's been in the industry for 16 years, and she said even though you would think she doesn't need any work experience, there's always something new in software, or there's always a change in like technology or regulation or something that we have to do. So we're always learning. Like if you think about CPD, we go along to webinars about updates about MTD and various other things. But we don't really get an opportunity to experience doing the thing. It's more like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like this kind of intellectual thing we can go away and learn, but we don't get the practical side of it with CPD.
Yeah, it's so true. And also, so yes, we've got like HMRC might change something, like legislation might change. So like MTD, a new thing might come in. But also you might pick up a new client. You might be really experienced, but this client comes along with something that you've not dealt with before, or in an industry that you've not dealt with before. So it's not, lots of people are like, oh, is this for trainees? And I'm like, no, this is for anyone that wants to build confidence in multiple different areas of our industry, which has been quite surprising in a way, especially when we've had people that are chartered accountants or like experienced by many, many years coming in and going, this is great. This is what I needed. And I didn't, or I didn't know I needed this, but actually I'm getting something out of this that I didn't realize. And yeah, so it's been really interesting, but this is where it came from. Our community, the continuous messages of, I need work experience. I will work for you for free. Just give me some work experience. Please help me. How do I get work experience? How do I get work experience? Constantly. And we're like, oh my goodness, this is such a problem. And in all honesty, Zoe and I did not know how we were going to solve it. What we did was we were very curious and was like, wow, this is a big problem. I wonder if you were going to solve it, what would you do? And we started that conversation loads of times with different people. And every time we met someone, we would talk about it like, how do you deal with this? How do you deal with this? And just asking people. And we thinking about like how the whole world has changed since COVID, that maybe pre-COVID, people would automatically think they'd go into an office and sit next to somebody and have a mentor of some kind. And that was definitely my experience. I remember there was Alan in the corner. Alan in the corner was a 60-something-year-old gentleman. He was very flamboyant. He'd been a bookkeeper for years, and he knew his role inside out. All of us trainees would like go and stand by his desk and ask him the next question. He absolutely loved teaching us that. He also loved the power of it. And he loved being our friends, and he loved being needed. And that was perfect for him. But also I've heard of lots of people, they become qualified and then they have to train the next intake of trainees. And they're like, this is not why I got into this. I wanted to get on with the work. I don't want to train somebody else. So there's always been, unless you had an Alan who absolutely loved doing this and did it for years and years and years, it's always been quite a difficult journey for lots of people in this industry.
Yeah. One of the things, I was reflecting on this earlier when I was talking to a software company I can't mention at the moment, and about how we might work together. And and I was sort of talking about like how we'd built this. It was really interesting because it's so good to talk to other tech people about like what we could do. And I'm like, oh, I describe myself as a noob because my son was watching Minecraft videos. I'm such a noob. And we were talking about how this came about. And do you know what we did, Joe? We set up a business last year called the Bookkeepers Training Academy. We actually were having conversations with some of the professional bodies about whether we could become a training provider, like whether we could teach the syllabus, because what we thought might be the solution would be changing the way we learn the technical exam passing stuff, but building in like, okay, so you've learned the technical, now let's talk about how you would apply that in real life with a client. And I think all training schools could be doing this, but it still doesn't get close to what we've been able to build with Hey Monika. I don't know how we actually even got to the point of, we'll just make some software.
No, but this is the thing. It's been a journey, and it wasn't a journey that we knew the answer. And this is something I'd really like say to people, like, and it was a bit like the Figure Bookkeepers Club. I didn't know what the answer was, how I could help build confidence with bookkeepers, but I just thought, well, if we bring people together first, that's a starting point. And I think sometimes in this industry, we feel like we need to always have the answer, and you don't actually. You can just have the passion, the want, and think, okay, we'll just keep moving forward. I mean, what happened next was that we'd set up the Bookkeepers Training Academy. We had that ready, we started thinking about going to professional bodies, and we got some of the syllabuses. We made a start on that, and then we even started doing YouTube videos on early bits of training. We thought, okay, this is how we do it, and something wasn't quite working right. And then some of our other founders come to us and they said they had an idea about doing something. We're like, well, but we've got this idea. Shall we like brainstorm together? And then we met Stuart at an awards night, and he was in between some things, and I was like, I'd love your advice on this. And we all met together and we just started working it out. And actually, we built the founding team before we had the answer.
Yeah,
we just went on a journey together. We started workshopping ideas, drawing. We did loads. That was very creative, because like this isn't being created before. It's not like we wasn't out there trying to copy someone else's solution. And also, what we've done by doing that is create something that kind of it sits outside the professional bodies. The professional bodies can keep doing exactly what they're doing. This is an add-on, and this doesn't like if somebody wants to take on somebody and train them in-house, they can still do that, but this person can still gain extra confidence. It's like, it sits outside all of the things that already people are experiencing, which is why it's really hard to come up with something that's completely brand new.
And also, do you know what, Jo? You just saying that makes me think like we're completely mad, because you wouldn't normally, you'd say, like we say with bookkeeping, one of the things with bookkeepers is you say, oh, well, I can't compete because I'm new. And then that's why people start charging less, because they're like, the only way I can compete is on price because it's such a competitive market, la, la, la. We know that isn't true. We know that the way you compete is actually by standing out, by doing something unique and like a different take on something. But we know that if there's lots of businesses in the market providing something, there must be demand for it. But we didn't have a proven market for demand apart from all the people asking for help. And I suppose I mean, we went along to Engager Labs to launch it, didn't we? And we sorry, I've got a problem with my ear and it drives me mad. So anyway, we went along to Engager Labs and we kind of decided that we would kind of walk away. Like if no one was interested, we were like, we've put some money into this. It is a lot of money to say goodbye to, but it's better than moving on and just putting money into a money pit. And we knew that if people weren't going to be interested, we were going to walk away at that point. And then of course loads of people signed up, and that we were really surprised. But then I suppose that did just prove the concept, like people were prepared to pay, because you don't really know. People can say to you, oh, it's a great idea, definitely everyone needs this, but you don't really know until you ask people to pay for it.
No, and that really was that proof of concept, wasn't it? It's like, okay, we've been talking about it, and of course we were asking questions all the way through up before launch, but until someone puts money where their mouth is, you don't know if you have anything. So when we went to Engager Labs in February, we had one scenario ready. We had more scenarios ready to go, but we had enough to do a demo. It was, we've really been working on that minimal viable launch model. Like, how do you show someone enough so that they can, because every time you develop something, it costs lots of money, and we're doing this completely bootstrapped. And actually the people that are buying the software are helping us to develop it, which is what we wanted to do. We didn't want to go and end up spending all our time in investment rounds and seed funding rounds, because then you start serving investors rather than serving the customers. And we want to be here reacting and working with the customers. So we've had to learn so much. Like, we're building something that gives people confidence while we're all blooming brand new at building software, which is quite hilarious. But it means we do understand this feeling of, is this what I should be doing? How do I do this? I mean, it's even question like, I'm a proud bookkeeper, but even setting up a new business and having, we've had to do things like set up direct debits and repeating invoices and a zero account and bank accounts and all of these things. We've had to go back and do all these things, and there's always something you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't done that. So we are feeling very much in the same space as a lot of people that are using the software, which I think helps.
I do too, and I think people are very forgiving as well. Like when we're like,
sorry,
we've never done this before. Should we say a little bit about what Hey Monika does, how it helps with work experience, and also how we're taking feedback from our users? Because you might be interested, if you listen this far, you're interested in Hey Monika, and you might be interested in like how we're trying to build it and be responsive to people. I describe Hey Monika as a work experience app powered by AI. So when you log into the platform, you are faced with your clients. There are the faces of your clients, their name, their business type, what they do. And you've got a list of scenarios. There are 8 of them live right now in April when we're speaking, which is lots for people to be working through anyway, but there's lots to come. We've built some of them. We just need to release them, things like that. So each scenario gives you the opportunity to try a few different aspects of bookkeeping. Obviously, it's not going to be a massive, like, weeks long project. The aim is that they take an hour or two, and we're sort of learning as we go in terms of how long these scenarios should be. But when you're faced with your clients, you can choose a scenario to work on. So, for example, there might be a sole trader. We've got a sole trader called Adele, and she's a service provider, and she's got some questions about things she could be claiming through her business, and she needs to set up a Xero account. So you would go into the scenario, you learn a little bit about your client, Adele, and then you have a list of tasks that you work through. And at various points, you need to interact with the client. So you might send a message to Adele to say to her, I need some paperwork. And then Adele can provide those pieces of paperwork to you into a document vault. So you sort of ask for the information and she unlocks it as you work through the scenario. And then you will do various pieces of bookkeeping in software, which is outside of the Hey Monika platform. So we're using demo companies and free trials and things like that. And we're talking to other software developers about how we can use their products and bring them into Hey Monika, which will be a sort of next development. And as you work through, if you've got questions, just like you do when you're doing bookkeeping or any activity for the first time, you want to ask someone for support, and that someone is Monika. So Monika is your assistant. She's powered by AI. She's been trained by our community, the Figure Bookkeepers Club, who spent 3 months answering technical questions for us, and we trained her on what were good and bad answers. So she really knows what a bookkeeper would be saying to you if they were mentoring you. And you can go to Monika at any time and say, hey, how do I deal with this? Or my client's asking this, what do I do? And she'll point you in the right direction. And there are also documents and videos to train you as you're working through. So you go through those examples, you get to the end of the scenario, it gives you a score. You either sort of pass it, or you might want to go back and revisit it, but it gives you lots of feedback on the questions and where you've gone wrong, so you can try again, or you can move on to your next scenario. And we're asking people for feedback so that, first of all, obviously, anything you're building, if there might be bugs or challenges or problems, or the client AI might not be behaving in the way you want it to, or the Monika AI, or there might be a video that you need that would help you complete something. If you've got any queries like that, you can feed back to us. And there is now a button, Joe, on the platform where you can do that. But also, if you have ideas for scenarios or things you would like to experience as you're doing your work experience, then you can submit those requests, and we build that into our sort of work plan so that as a team we can build those out for you in the future.
So exciting. I can't believe we have got this far, that there are 8 scenarios, and that they're not like, at first we thought they were going to be like really quick. I don't know what I was expecting, but these are like good chunky bits of work, and you really will feel, if you've done it, you're like, yeah, I can do that now. It's a real piece of work. It's not, I don't know. You have to go and do it. You have to build it. You have to get to a trial balance. You have to check that the figures are right, and you're going to.
Because you won't know if the answer's right. Yeah, because some of those questions will be asking you, what's the adjustment you make here, and you won't know unless you've done the actual piece of work. I think that's so valuable. I wish I'd had that. I wish I'd had it, because you don't have any real numbers to work on, like in, when you're in a training situation. Certainly not in software.
And the possibilities with this software are infinite, and what we will be able to build, and the scenarios and the software, and how, like, what kind of experiences you'll be able to have are infinite, which is so exciting. And at the moment, people that are coming in are being known as our like founding members. These are the people that we are like, they need to be the right kind of person, because this is not perfect at the moment. It gives you what we're telling you. It will help you build confidence. You will learn. We have the founders in the background. So when something like we're always testing and coming back and giving you responses and building tutorial videos, which will help you out. So you get to have answers to those questions by, qualified accountants and bookkeepers. So you are getting access to mentors and you will build confidence, but it is not the perfect finished product by any means. And I don't actually think any software is ever 100% finished and perfect. It's always ever improving. But you do need to be somebody that's going to come in and kind of be part of the team and jump on and be like, this is working well, this isn't working well, let me give you feedback. We need people that are going to, if they see something, give us feedback so that we can improve it. You need to be a certain type of person, but the people we've got in there at the moment are epic. They are so lovely and they're seeing things. This is the problem when you build something and when you're running a business, you see it how you think you built it. And then someone will go in with different view and go, hold on, what's that? And you're like, oh my goodness, brilliant, thank you, I didn't see that. And
or I never expected you to try and use that in that way.
Exactly.
We and also, we are trying really hard to give the scenarios that we'll be building. We will be really listening to these first users because they know why they joined. They joined before it was even live because they saw the potential of, oh my gosh, this is going to help me with this challenge. So there are things like one of our scenarios is an AML scenario, which we know lots of people have they worry about, and they'd love to be able to actually go through that in real life and see if they could get it right. And so I think that's a really valuable scenario in there as well. And I think there'll be more of those kind of things coming, as well as off software work experience scenarios. We were talking about Excel the other day, and I was saying, actually things like putting together a pivot table to analyze data for a lot of people isn't something you've ever needed to do. So, we can put scenarios like that together as well. And I think you're going to find that the clients, because just like in a normal practice, you see the same clients over and over again. They're going to come to you with different challenges. So, I'm thinking of one of our clients, Amy. She shows up and she's got some monthly bookkeeping for you to do. And then she shows up somewhere else. She's got something else that hasn't happened, like her credit card account hasn't been linked up. So you need to go and sort that out for her. But there's no reason why Amy might not have some data analysis exercise that needs to happen. So you're going to be familiar with your clients as well, just like you would be in real life. And I think that really gives you confidence that you can remember, and you do get familiar with the software you're using, and it doesn't just go out of your brain once you've done it once.
Oh, it's so exciting. I'm so proud of what we've achieved so far. So grateful for everybody that has invested their time to even try it out. Yeah, they're paying and they're investing time to try it out. But the responses and what they're getting out of it, I think first it makes them sometimes laugh when the clients are difficult, but that's real life as well. Like we have had to say quite a few times, you do realize when you speak to a client and you ask them for 5 things, you may get 1 and you may have to go back and ask for those 4 things again. That is kind of real life, and AI is acting not always perfect. So, and that's real life with clients. I don't think, I've had some clients where I had to just ask them 1 thing at a time and wait for that response before I could send the next thing. Because if you sent them 2, they'd always ignore 1. And, so you have
really
to learn.
Normal.
Yeah, it's really normal.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
There have been some good funny moments. There was a moment where Roger, one of our clients, Roger and Claire, husband and wife, run a business. Roger decided he wanted to be called Claire for a while. So and
that was because we'd accidentally in a prompt said her rather than him. So then he said, I'm identifying as Claire now. They're like, Roger, she's your pregnant wife. Please get back to being Roger. But yeah, it's funny.
It's really fun and games. It really has.
Yeah. And like we said, we are learning alongside all of you. And the reality is, like, when you launch something out to the world, a bit like when you launch your bookkeeping business, and this was the same when I was working with salon owners, if you launch something out and a product and a service, there could be someone looking and going, I'm going to do exactly the same as you, and I'm going to copy you. And that is very true in this kind of space. But what we have that's different is this community. We have a community that trust us. They trust that they might not know me and Zoe, they might not know every founder, but we've had people coming in. Lots of our clients that we've got coming into Hey Monika are in our community, but we might not know them that well. But they believe in us, and maybe they're podcast listeners or YouTube video listeners, watchers, and they're like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And so far, like, everyone is staying and loving it and enjoying it, which we're just so proud of.
It's so good. So I would love to talk to you about how to be a user of Hey Monika if you would like to. I also feel like, because you might have noticed that we have been incredibly distracted by this project for the last few months, you might be wondering what is going on with Six Figure Bookkeeper and the community. Everything is exactly the same. I just want to say, like, just to reassure you, Bookkeepers Podcast, we're still here. The Six Figure Bookkeepers Club is growing. We have new members joining up for the Bookkeepers Collective every week. In fact, it's been very interesting, actually. We've seen a lot of people, maybe it's because we've been more visible because of Hey Monika, but we have seen a lot of people joining us in the Bookkeepers Collective, which is our membership with lots of on-demand training, CPD accredited learning, as well as live sessions every week. So that is all happening. And it's and actually, maybe like one of the reasons I think we've been able to make space for this project, as well as being completely fueled by caffeine, I think, is that we do practice what we preach. You know, we talk to bookkeepers about thinking about yourself as a bigger business, streamlining, systemizing, and that's exactly what we've done in our business in the Six Figure Bookkeeper, so that we don't need to be doing everything every day and reinventing the wheel all the time. We do have processes. So, you know, we are still delivering the Bookkeepers Collective in exactly the same level of quality as we always have done. In fact, we had a 3-hour call today with some of our mastermindees. So we're not completely consumed by Hey Monika, and we have a team of 6 working over on Hey Monika, as well as developers. So it is it's been a very interesting journey, but nothing is changing. In fact, what you can look forward to is that the Bookkeepers Podcast is having a massive makeover. And in May, you might have seen us, if you'd seen us at Fab, you might have seen that we recorded some podcasts live, which we're going to be putting up on the YouTube channel. And we're going to be recording the Bookkeepers Podcast from a studio in future and bringing it to you. More of these kind of chats with Joe and I, sharing you like real behind the scenes stuff and how that can help you grow your business. So look forward to that, because we are super excited and also slightly terrified.
It's going to be, the podcast is definitely getting an upgrade, and the YouTube channel. So I can't wait for that. And I think that's been the thing, though. We have just been working really hard behind the scenes, but nothing's changed. Everything's just getting, I don't know, boosted.
Getting a boost, yeah. So how do you get on the wait list for Hey Monika? And I'm going to say wait list because we're building this, and we can't launch something and everyone sign up and then us go, oh my gosh, we can't cope with the feedback. We want to be really careful about making sure we can be responsive and iron out any of those like early hiccups. So at first we let in 50 users. We're now letting in an additional 50 users. So I think 30 of those spaces have gone.
So we've got 20 left for this next.
There are 20 spaces at the moment, and then we'll have 100 users, and we're going to have a bit of a pause then while we get ready, but like just make sure that we've worked through the last couple of things we're working on. So we've just done a password reset function, which I know sounds so basic, but these things actually don't come as standard. So
nothing comes as standard.
Nothing. And we need to be able to allow you to save your progress, because when you're working through a scenario, you might want to go away and come back to it. So we need to make sure that is possible. And so while we work on that over the next week or two, we are going to pause letting members in. But if you're in that 20, we will still let you in. So the way to join Hey Monika is go to the website, heymonika.com. It's Monika with a K. And then you'll see all over that website, you can read all about users, what their experience looks like, what the screens look like, and things like that. There are some FAQs, but there are buttons all over there to join the list, sign up, get your work experience. If you go through to there, it will just ask you for your payment details, but we won't take your payment until we're ready to let you in. So you'll then get an email from us saying, we'll be in touch when we're ready to let you in. And when we do that, we give you access to the tool, and we give you your login, your email. You know your email address. We give you a password so you can get in, and then you can reset it with the reset password function. Woo!
Who would have thought we'd have been so excited about a password reset?
Honestly, it's like all consuming. Every day I'm like, hey, have we got the password reset yet? Have we done it? Have we done it?
We are so funny. Oh dear.
Well, I think that's all for today.
It is. Yeah, I think that's it. We've just come in just to share the news, catch up with everybody, and go to heymonika.com to find out more, sign up, grab one of those 20 spaces before we have that little pause. And we can't wait to see you in there. And there's a Facebook group as well for all of those members.
Perfect. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching wherever you are. We'll see you next time for another episode of the Bookkeepers Podcast. Take care. Bye.
Bye.